Deep within the annals of human history, certain figures emerge from the shadows, their names forever etched in infamy. Vasily Blokhin is one such figure. He stands as a chilling embodiment of the brutal efficiency that characterized Stalin's reign of terror in the Soviet Union. Blokhin, you see, was not a military commander or a political mastermind. He was an executioner, and not just any executioner. He was Stalin's chief executioner, personally responsible for the deaths of thousands upon thousands of souls. His life, like the lives he so readily took, was shrouded in secrecy, his deeds hidden from the world for decades. But the truth, like a whisper in the wind, eventually found its way out, revealing the horrifying extent of Blokhin's crimes. He became known as the Butcher of Moscow, a chilling moniker that reflected the cold, calculated brutality that defined his career. Blokhin's story is not for the faint of heart. It is a tale of violence, of power unchecked, and the depths of depravity to which humanity can sink. But it is also a story that demands to be told, a stark reminder of the fragility of human life and the ever-present potential for evil to flourish in the shadows. Vasily Blokhin's path to becoming Stalin's chief executioner was an unlikely one, filled with twists and turns that few could have predicted. Born in 1895 into a family of peasant farmers, his early life was a world away from the corridors of power in which he would eventually operate. The Blokhin family, like many others, toiled endlessly in the fields, their lives dictated by the rhythms of the seasons and the demands of the land. The details of his youth remain shrouded in mystery, lost to the tumultuous tides of history. What little we know paints a picture of a harsh and unforgiving upbringing, one that would shape his character in profound ways. What we do know is that Blokhin, like many young men of his generation, found himself swept up in the chaos of the First World War, enlisting in the Tsarist army. The war was a crucible, a place where young men were forged into soldiers amidst the fire and fury of battle. The horrors he witnessed on the Eastern Front no doubt left an indelible mark on the young soldier. The relentless artillery barrages, the sight of comrades falling in the mud, the ever-present spectre of death, all these experiences would have a lasting impact on him. The constant threat of death, the brutal realities of trench warfare, these experiences likely hardened him, desensitized him to the value of human life. In the trenches, survival often meant suppressing one's humanity, a lesson Blokhin would carry with him into his later life. Following the war's end and the Bolshevik Revolution, Blokhin, perhaps drawn to the allure of power and order amidst the chaos, joined the fledgling Cheka, the precursor to the NKVD, the Soviet secret police force. The Cheka was a brutal organization, tasked with rooting out enemies of the new regime. It was within the ranks of this organization that Blokhin's true talents, if one could call them that, were recognized. His ability to carry out orders without question, his cold efficiency, and his unwavering loyalty made him stand out. He was efficient, ruthless, and utterly devoted to the cause, qualities that did not go unnoticed by his superiors. In a regime that valued loyalty and the ability to instill fear, Blokhin was a perfect fit. He rose quickly through the ranks, his ascent fueled by a chilling combination of ambition and a chilling lack of remorse. Promotions came swiftly, each new rank bringing with it more responsibility and more opportunities to prove his worth. Blokhin was a man who could be relied upon to carry out the dirty work, no matter how gruesome or morally reprehensible. His reputation as an executioner grew, and with it his influence within the Soviet apparatus. And in the years to come, he would prove his worth time and time again, becoming an indispensable tool in Stalin's reign of terror. His actions would leave a dark legacy, one that would be remembered long after his death. The late 1930s marked a dark chapter in Soviet history. The Great Terror, as it came to be known, was a period of intense paranoia and political repression, orchestrated by Joseph Stalin to solidify his grip on power. The NKVD, under the iron fist of Nikolai Yezhov, became the instrument of Stalin's paranoia, carrying out mass arrests, deportations, and executions. It was within this crucible of fear and violence that Vasily Blokhin truly came into his own. Blokhin's loyalty and efficiency did not go unnoticed. He was appointed commandant of the NKVD's internal prison in Moscow, a position that placed him at the epicenter of the terror. The prison, located in the Lubyanka building, became a symbol of dread, a place where countless innocent souls were interrogated, tortured, and ultimately executed. And it was here, within the bowels of this infamous building, that Blokhin carried out his gruesome work with chilling efficiency. Blokhin, you see, was a meticulous man. He kept detailed records of his executions, noting down the names of the condemned, the dates of their deaths, and even the type of ammunition used. These records, later unearthed from the Soviet archives, paint a horrifying picture of the scale of Blokhin's crimes. They also reveal the methodical, almost bureaucratic approach he took to his work, an approach that allowed him to compartmentalize the horrors he inflicted and to maintain a veneer of normalcy amidst the carnage. Section 4. Katyn Forest, a massacre in the night. The name Katyn Forest has become synonymous with one of the darkest chapters in human history. While Blokhin's name is forever linked to the Lubyanka and the horrors that unfolded within its walls, it was his role in the Katyn Forest massacre that cemented his place in the annals of infamy. The Lubyanka prison, with its grim and foreboding presence, was just the beginning of his notorious career. In the spring of 1940, the NKVD, acting on Stalin's orders, carried out the systematic execution of over 20,000 Polish prisoners of war and civilians. This was a meticulously planned operation designed to eliminate any potential threat to Soviet control. These were not hardened criminals or enemies of the state, but doctors, lawyers, teachers and artists deemed a threat to the Soviet regime simply because of their nationality and social standing. Their only crime was their potential to inspire resistance against Soviet domination. The Katyn Forest, located near the city of Smolensk, became the chilling backdrop for this atrocity. The serene and quiet forest, with its tall trees and dense foliage, hid the horrors that were about to unfold. Night after night, under the cover of darkness, prisoners were transported to the forest in groups of 250 to 300. The journey was filled with fear and uncertainty, as the prisoners had no idea of the fate that awaited them. They were led into a small building, a former NKVD dacha, where they were registered and their details checked against meticulously prepared lists. This process was cold and methodical, stripping the prisoners of their identities and reducing them to mere numbers. Then, one by one, they were taken into a soundproofed room, a killing field disguised as an office. The room was dimly lit, adding to the sense of dread and hopelessness. It was in this room that Vasily Blokhin, armed with a German Walther pistol, personally carried out the executions. Blokhin, known for his ruthless efficiency, showed no mercy as he carried out his grim task. He worked tirelessly night after night for weeks on end, sending thousands of men to their deaths with a single bullet to the back of the head. The sound of the gunshots echoed in the silence of the night, a grim reminder of the brutality taking place. The sheer scale of the massacre is difficult to comprehend, a testament to the cold, bureaucratic efficiency of the NKVD and the chilling detachment of men like Vasily Blokhin. The Katyn Forest massacre remains a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the devastating impact of totalitarian regimes. Section 5. Blokhin's grim efficiency. Vasily Blokhin, you see, took a perverse pride in his work. He was not just any executioner, he was the chief executioner for the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin. He saw himself not as a murderer, but as a loyal servant of the state, carrying out the unpleasant but necessary tasks required to maintain order and security. In his mind, he was a guardian of the Soviet regime, ensuring that its enemies were swiftly and efficiently dealt with. He approached his grisly duty with the same methodical precision that one might bring to a factory assembly line. Every step was calculated, every movement practiced to perfection. He had his routine, his preferred tools, and his methods, all honed through years of experience to maximize efficiency and minimize mess. His toolkit was meticulously organized, each item in its place ready for use. Blokhin preferred to use a German Walter Model II pistol, a reliable and accurate weapon that he believed minimized suffering for his victims. This choice of weapon was not random. It was a calculated decision to ensure that each execution was as quick and clean as possible. He would work tirelessly, hour after hour, night after night, dispatching his victims with a single bullet to the back of the head, the most efficient method, according to him. This method was chosen for its speed and effectiveness, allowing him to process a large number of executions in a short period. He wore a long leather butcher's apron, a chilling detail that speaks volumes about his mindset and the way in which he had come to view his victims. Blokhin's stamina was legendary. The apron was not just for protection, it was a symbol of his role, a uniform for his grim profession. During the Katyn Massacre, he personally executed an estimated 7,000 Polish prisoners, averaging around 300 executions per night. This staggering number highlights the industrial scale of his operations and the cold efficiency with which he carried out his duties. He would work tirelessly, fueled by vodka and cigarettes, a grim testament to the depths of human endurance and the ability to compartmentalize even the most horrific of acts. These vices were his coping mechanisms, helping him to numb the reality of his actions and continue his work without hesitation. Blokhin's story is a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the ease with which ordinary individuals can be transformed into instruments of unimaginable cruelty. His life and actions serve as a stark warning of what can happen when loyalty to a regime overrides basic human morality and compassion. If you found this video informative, please like and subscribe for more historical content. Thank you for watching.